Theo wondered why the chief was so surprised. Finally, we come to know what Theo was thinking in his tiny little head. His thought was like, Theo is Seo Jun's subordinate, and Iona the other day bowed to Seo Jun, meaning she also became Seo Jun's subordinate. And as both Seo Jun and Iona are Seo Jun's subordinates, doesn't that mean they are both on the same level? And they all, the monsters under Seo Jun, are like family. So Theo and Iona are like family, right? The chief was bewildered, not knowing what to say, covered in sweat. Then Theo started yelling at everyone, telling them how crucial their relationship was. Today's like goal is 4,000 likes. Please like and subscribe to the channel to support us. Now, let's continue. Hearing this, the wolf chief started to sweat even more, and the other creatures started sweating all over, unable to believe what Theo was babbling about, wondering, is this cat really Iona's boyfriend? Suddenly, Iona hurriedly removed the curtain of the tent and came out, startling Theo. She screamed at Theo, saying not to phrase it like that, or people might misunderstand their relationship. As the scene shifts, we come inside the Lizard Man camp, where everyone wondered who the cat was. This room had a large map of the whole 67th floor. Iona told Theo that her team was in the middle of an important meeting to prepare for the next Red Locust attack and asked Theo why he was here. Inside, Iona was a little shy, but Theo immediately countered, telling her that he came to the 67th floor because of the wolves. According to him, the Silver Wolves were getting underpaid, and this is not acceptable according to Asian Mom's rule book number 7. Theo, with a frustrated expression, explained that the wolves were also cleaning up the mess on the 67th floor, but their contract was just to collect the bodies of the Red Locusts. Theo told Iona that they were doing so much work, making the contract unfair. Iona was shocked and told Theo she was at the battlefield all the time, so she didn't know this was happening. And according to her, she never makes anyone do more work than they are paid for. She then turned around and asked Mr. Toro, the red lizard, what was happening. He explained he didn't know anything about this, but we can't say the same for the green ugly one who started to sweat heavily and was getting panicked. Iona also noticed this and questioned the ugly lizard man why he was getting nervous. Does he know anything about this? Then we come to know that Toro is the name of the ugly lizard, so from now we will call him Toro. He was the representative leader of the lizard men. He started telling Iona that all the lizard men were engaged in battle. The remaining lizard men were unable to reclaim the secured territory since there were only children and the elderly left, so he immediately asked the wolves to help them out. There was no other option, and his real intention was never to make them work more than they were getting paid. But what can he do because of the Red Locusts' war? They are very low on finance. But Theo immediately countered, telling them that excessive workload still needed compensation, and he wanted it for the wolves no matter what. Toro, getting pushed by Theo and a little tense, asked how much Theo wanted for the compensation. But Theo, hearing this, started to scream, saying how dare a ugly ass treat his subordinate like that. He made them work against their will. Theo didn't give a shit about the lizard man's condition, as the lizard man made the wolves work against their will. Theo demanded 1 tower coin per wolf, and since 100 wolves were stationed for extra work, the coins totaled a full 100. Hearing this, the leader snapped while banging his hand on the table. He was so angry his head was about to explode, and he started to shout, calling Theo a vicious wandering merchant and all sorts of things. And Theo? Well, he was just standing there like he would snap the ugly lizard's ass any moment. But before things could go any further, Iona immediately stepped in. Now she got angry because her hubby Theo was getting scolded. She said to Toro that this little cat is the subordinate of the great black dragon. He is not any ordinary cat, and on top of that, the onion blades are also supplied from the black dragon, and Theo and the wolves are in charge of distribution. She questioned, what if his action angers Theo and he decided not to supply the onion blade? Then what will happen to the 67th floor? How will that defend the 67th floor from the Red Locusts? Well, the ugly green ass was just hearing all this. Seeing the opportunity, Theo immediately introduced himself as the subordinate and the great cat merchant, the one and only servant of the great black dragon. He told the leader they did something significant by working his subordinates for free, so he demanded a fair price, and Toro was just hearing all this with surprise. Then we see Toro clench his fists and grind his teeth, thinking how in the hell this puny little cat became the subordinate of the great black dragon. In anger, while his subordinate told him to calm down, finally, he sighed and agreed to what Theo was saying as he didn't have any other options. As the scene shifts, we see the Wolf Chief and Theo walking with Iona, while Theo happily sings, holding the pouch of money in his hand. He starts handing the pouch to the Wolf Chief, telling him that everything worked out pretty well. But the Wolf Chief didn't want the money, telling Theo that it was all okay since they were all Theo's subordinates and could make enough money by selling the red locusts on different floors, and they don't want it. Hearing this, Theo smirked while putting the coin pouch into his bag, complimenting the wolf for being a wonderful subordinate. He told the wolf it was wrong to treat the Black Dragon's subordinates, including Theo's, carelessly because it was like treating the Black Dragon carelessly. But suddenly, Theo changed his tone and started scolding the chief, telling him to always take the money with confidence and not get bullied. The chief agreed with a nervous smile. Then Theo thanked Iona for supporting him when he needed her. Iona just smiled, telling Theo that since she was leading from the front line, she didn't know such a thing existed, or it would have been resolved immediately. Theo told the Wolf Chief to go back to the 99th floor alone, saying he would come later. But Iona started wondering why the lizard race, famous for not giving up what was theirs, gave in. She realized Theo used the name of the Black Dragon's grace as an excuse to demand compensation. She knew rumors about Theo, the wandering cat merchant, would spread enormously. Theo's reputation would not be good after what happened today, but it didn't matter because of who was standing behind him. Iona thought of the great Black Dragon, thinking that under his name, having any power in the tower was possible. She wondered what could surpass the great powers of the Black Dragon, but immediately realized the tower was decaying, and food was an important power that could finally stabilize it. She knew she couldn't let idiots like the lizard take over, but she also knew many powers within the tower would be keeping a close eye on the yellow cat wandering merchant from now on. But for Theo, it looked like it didn't matter at all. He immediately turned towards Iona and told her they were going to leave now. Iona was surprised he was leaving so early, but he just smiled, telling her to take care of herself. They bid their farewells, and Iona smiled and waved her hands towards the cat, still thinking that rumors give rise to more rumors, and Theo's story was going to get exaggerated and inflated. As the word spread, she was sure that Theo would become a great wandering cat merchant. The scene shifts, and we see Seo Jun leveling up again, reaching level 22 and getting a bonus stat point. Seo Jun woke up to the sudden sound of a notification. He was just supposed to take a short break, but he ended up sleeping longer. He didn't even realize when he hit level 22, he was leveling up too fast. As he snapped out of his trance and looked around, he saw all the Minotaurs working together, cutting tree logs into small pieces for the craftsmen. There was a huge pile of trees behind Seo Jun, and he thought that organizing this many trees would take a while. It felt like he had conquered a mountain. He drifted into a flashback, thinking about the attack by the corrupted ants. With the help of the baby bear, the mommy bear, and the Minotaur, the fight was easily ended. Thanks to the baby bear, Seo Jun heard that he had knocked out multiple trees for his dad so that they could defeat the enemies quickly and level up faster. Hearing this almost made Seo Jun cry, as he thanked the baby bear for everything. Now, Seo Jun decided to prepare for any unexpected situations in the future by building a fence using the corpses of the ants. The Minotaurs were chopping wood, while Seo Jun stood with the baby bear. He suddenly asked the mother bear if these corrupted entities were the monsters living in the eerie forest to the west, which was mentioned by the Wolf Chief before. The mother bear confirmed it was true. She explained that the monsters were stepping into her area for an unknown reason, and their invasions had become more frequent recently. She didn't have any idea why they would invade. Seo Jun saw the mother bear eating the tree whole and asked if it was delicious because she seemed to be enjoying it. She apologized to Seo Jun, saying she should have patrolled better. She was really stressed and continued telling Seo Jun she was sorry, saying she couldn't even imagine if anything happened to Seo Jun. She might have died from a heart attack if anything happened to Seo Jun. Seo Jun immediately calmed her down, telling her not to be sorry. He understood it must be a burden for her to manage such a large area alone. He smiled and told her that the power of the poisonous bees was increasing, so he would ask his second and third queen bee to help her with patrolling. Hearing this made the mother bear smile, and she thanked Seo Jun for his kind gesture. However, Seo Jun was still wondering why the corrupted entities came to the 99th floor in the first place. He remembered a fallen entity saying that something was on the 99th floor before it died, which was pretty concerning for Seo Jun. Suddenly, the tower manager contacted Seo Jun, telling him that the corrupted entities were like viruses. She told Seo Jun that no matter how many times he wanted to kill them, they would keep coming back. They'll still show up at some point because they're troublesome beings. If there's any tree with immense power nearby, they'll do whatever it takes to corrupt it. So ultimately, all the trees with magical powers on the 99th floor got contaminated by these corrupted entities. They immediately go to sleep when there's nothing left to contaminate within their vicinity. Aileen wanted to know if Seo-jun could think of a reason why they were awake and active now. She wondered if there was anything that Seo-jun could point out. Well, if that's what Seo-jun had to point out, there was a large amount of fertile soil and multiple corn trees above the cave on the 99th floor. But as he was thinking, every creature heard a rumbling sound inside his stomach. Seo-jun finally realized he hadn't eaten yet after that large-scale battle. Just by hearing the word food, the baby bear started to feel hungry. The scene shifts, and we see Seo-jun was stir-frying some juicy meats, and after it was done, Kyung was helping transport them. Seo-jun prepared food for every creature on the 99th floor. All the food was now laid out on the ground, while the minotaurs created a campfire, and the rabbits started dancing by the large amount of food. The other minotaurs were collecting a large number of green onion leaves for their meal. Some minotaurs were grilling piranhas with very happy expressions. The gray rabbits were just chilling on top of the minotaurs, and on huge plates of onion leaves, there were grilled corns, sweet potatoes, juicy meats. Well, anything you think delicious, if all the rabbits were dancing and having the best day of their lives. As Seo-jun watched from behind, everyone started eating with happy faces as their stomachs filled up. Then the Minotaur King finally took the drink Seo-jun made with his special juice and got mesmerized. His eyes started to glow. He got addicted to it and started begging Seo-jun to give more of his special juice to him. Meanwhile, Aileen was watching this heartwarming scene from her crystal ball while eating some fried chicken. Suddenly, Seo-jun noticed that the food for the mother bear was finished. Well, Seo-jun didn't want his family to not eat their stomach full, but as they were wondering what to do, Seo-jun noticed something. They saw the wolf chief returning with a large amount of red locusts. Seo-jun told him to join the party. The mother bear looked at the incoming food with glittering eyes and immediately started devouring it all. But then something happened. Seo-jun heard a groaning sound like someone was in pain. He looked back, and the mother rabbit started having labor pains as it was finally time for the baby rabbits to arrive. The husband rabbit was getting panicked, and the pain was getting intense every passing second. Seo-jun, seeing this, got a mini heart attack, panicked, thinking what to do. Seo-jun told her it was too late to go to the cave, so he went to their house to bring something soft for her. All the creatures realized the baby was coming, but Seo-jun wanted everyone to calm down. The wife rabbit continued to groan in pain for hours, and everyone was waiting outside the house, all tense. But finally, after a whole hour, everything went silent, and Seo-jun finally opened the window of the house. Everyone was waiting there silently and nervously, waiting to see what happened. Then the scene shifted, and we see the mommy rabbit was passed out, sleeping while the husband rabbit was taking care of her. Seo-jun, with the warmest smile on his face, was holding the new baby rabbits in his hands. The queen bees were hovering over Seo-jun's head and shoulder, the chubby rabbit, the sickle rabbit, and everyone was just standing there in awe, all silent. The baby rabbits were sleeping, all sound and safe.